माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे देह राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गौतमानंदे हरि हरि बोल एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् जैन श्री भक्त वेदांत स्वामी शिवपाद की जय एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् जैन श्री भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभुवन श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to us immortal devotees, Hare Krishna. 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 All glories, all glories, all glories. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gauranga, Sri Gopal Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtai Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swanandram Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharanya Visayas Sunnavad Pacha Chadestar. Bear with me, I have a lot of cough. Whole evening I was coughing only. Hopefully it will be without interruption. It will depend on the Lord and Guru. Okay. We are discussing today from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, Viswarupa Sandarshana Yoga, the universal form, verse number 47, 48, 49. This is the last section of this chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Aham sarvasya prabho mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhudabhava samanvita matchitta madhyata prana bodhayanta parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti jarvanti cha tesham satadayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te तेषाम् एवानुकम्पार्थाम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. That is Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita. 4 verses contains the whole essence of the Bhagavad Gita. 8, 9, 10, 11. Very important verses. Okay, chapter 11, verse number 47. Beautiful prayers. Lord Krishna directly speaking. Beautiful verses. Very nice verses. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam
Rupam param
Darsitam Atmayoga.
Tejomayam Vishwamanantamadhyam Bhaktin.
Yeah, that will be better, yeah. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam Rupam Param Darsitam Atmayoga. तेजोमयं विश्वम् अनन्तमाद्यम् यन्मे त्वत् अन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम्. Each line is significant. श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदम् रूपम् परम् दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयम् विश्वम् अनन्तमाद्यम् यन्मे त्वत् अन्येन नादृष्टपूर्वम्. श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदम् रूपम् परम् दर्शितम् आत्मयोगात् Tejomayam Viswam Anantamadyam Yanme Tvat Anyena Na Društapurvam. Word to word. Sri Bhagavan Vaja, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Maya, by me, Prasannena, happily, Tava, unto you, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Idam, this, Rupam, form, Param, transcendental, Darsita, shown, Atma Yoga, by my internal potency. Teja Mayam, full of effulgence, Viswam, the entire universe, Anantam, unlimited, Adyam, original, Yat, that which, me, my, Tat Anyena, besides you, Na Drushta Purvam, no one has previously seen. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency, Atma Yoga, this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you have ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. You might have shown some of the universal form, but not this kind of form was not shown to anyone. The one which Arjuna is seeing. So very clear. This is Lord himself is speaking. So there should not be any confusion, ambiguity. Prabhupada explains in the purport. Please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Purport by Prabhupada. Very nice purport, these verses. Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So, Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotee, Arjuna, try to understand how to receive the mercy. Maya prasannena tavarjunedam. How you can satisfy, how to receive the mercy. Here Arjuna had received. Maya prasannena tavarjunedam. Only by his causeless mercy, by his internal potency, Lord has shown to Arjuna only. So that's what you can see clearly. Out of his mercy upon his devotee, Arjuna showed his universal form, full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many phases were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna, because he had requested specifically. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna, but because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and the other planets in outer space could also see it. So Prabhupada is clearly mentioning. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjuna, they were also able to see it. In other words, all the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form. Who can see? Disciplic succession devotees. So that means one who is not surrendered, they could not see. They might be in the battlefield or they might be wherever in the whole material Brahmanda. They could not see. They must be devotees and they must be in the bona fide sampradaya, bona fide disciplic succession. They are in the connection. Their connection is not lost. They haven't rejected, they haven't fallen down. So that's very clear here. All the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form, which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at that time Krishna manifested some of his universal forms, not all. As I mentioned, this universal form was shown to Mother Yashoda, different type of form, two different times, Uttanka, Duryodhana. But it is not exactly the same what God showed it to Arjuna. But those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. That is the statement of Lord. So we have to accept Lord's statement as it is. So verse number 48. This is clearly now Lord is indicating how to receive the mercy. So people think all these ways. People try to endeavor in this world, so-called great big leaders. We can clearly see Lord Krishna is telling it is not possible. न वेदयज्ञा अध्ययनैर्न दानैर् न च क्रियाद्भिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपशक्यहं नृलोके द्रष्टुम् त्वत् कुरु प्रवीरा. It is not possible by any of these methods. न न वेदयज्ञा अध्ययनैर्न दानैर् न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपशक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुम् त्वत् कुरु प्रवीरा. One more time. न वेदयज्ञा अध्ययनैर्न दानैर् न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपशक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुम् त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा. No, never. Veda yajna by sacrifice. Adhyayana by Vedic study. No, never. Danai by charity. No, never. Cha also. Kriyavi by pious activities. No, never. Tapovi by serious penances. Ugrai severe. Evam rupa in this form. Sakya can aham I. Nduloke in this material world. Drastum be seen. Tvat than you. Anyena by any other. Kuru Pravira, oh best among the Kuru warriors. Lord Krishna is clearly mentioning. Oh best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, so Ekavedi, Dvivedi, Chaturvedi, Trivedi, it's not possible. They may know in and out of that. Doesn't mean that they can understand Krishna, they can attain the mercy of Krishna, they can see Krishna. It is not possible. But neither by studying the Vedas nor by performing sacrifice. So many people are interested in performing various sacrifices, yajnas, and whatnot, but not possible either. Nor by charity. Some people are so much caught up with charity. Neither the Lord can give mercy by like that, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances. Yogis do so many penances. Sometimes they sit in the walk in the fire, so sit in the cold water. So many severe, like Hiranyakasipu has done so many times that is seen, but it is not possible. Nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Please repeat. Oh, best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Big purport explaining each and every aspect. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have a divine vision? Divine means godly. The whole chapter of Bhagavad Gita is there. Divine and demoniac nature. Asurim Sampada Vimokshaya. So, divine and demoniac nature. Clearly explained. Godly. So, divine nature and demoniac nature. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have a divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of the Lord, Vishnu Bhaktas Smruto Deva, Lord Vishnu are demigods. Those who are atheistic, those who are moga, samoga, karmano, moga, gnana, vichesa, rakshasim, asurim cheva. That is what demigod means. Namam dushkutra moda. Repeatedly in 9th chapter, Krishna gives those verses about the atheistic behavior. Those who are asuric. Obviously, 16th chapter also divine demoniac nature. There also Krishna is giving. They have unclean habits. They have no cleanliness. They have no don't follow any regulated principle. Na socham na acharo. So no cleanliness either. Nothing. Though, and that is who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as supreme cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming a divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, now one can have some idea of Viswarupa after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. That is the qualification. Pure devotee of Krishna. Anya abhilashita sunyam. Not by karma, not by jnana, not by yoga, but they have to be only by bhakti. Bhaktya mama vijanati. Brahma bhuta prasannatma. Na sochati, na kankshati. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature, have the divine vision, are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. But he wanted to see it because, as Krishna explained the opulences, he wanted to see so that he can remember how he just want to see how these all these opulences you explained, then how is it that you expand it and show in that form, and also more so to establish the whole world that Lord Krishna is the source of this universal form, and he is the source of four-handed form, and his the original form is two-handed. Arjuna wants to establish Lord Krishna's supreme position. So for that reason also Arjuna is asking. Otherwise, is not no devotee is interested to see universal form, not even four-handed form. So as Lord Krishna showed to Devaki and Vasudev, four-handed form. As soon as he is born, immediately four-handed form with all the jewelry and ornaments and dress. Then Mother Devaki requested to change into regular form. Then he transformed into two-handed form. In this verse, there are significant words just like Veda Yajna Adhyayana, which refers to studying the Vedic literature, and the subject matter of specific sacrificial regulations. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature, such as four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharvaveda, and the 18 Puranas, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpashastra, Mimam Sutras, for studying the method of sacrifice. Dana refers to charity which is offered to a suitable party, such as those who are engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. Similarly, pious activities refers to Agnihotra and prescribed duties of different castes. And the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, giving charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form, not to receive mercy of the Lord, not they can see two-handed form or four-handed form. If they cannot see universal, how they can see other forms? Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord, but from Bhagavad Gita we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord either. So that from that Lord Krishna statement we can clearly understand. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim as an ordinary human to be an incarnation. In India, it's so much rampant. But this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. So we have to, anybody claiming to be incarnation, so when Prabhupada was there itself, they were bringing, what about Meher Baba, what about this Baba, all this. Okay, show me the book, show me in Bhagavad Gita where he mentioned as incarnation, show me in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, show me in Upanishad. Then only, otherwise no one can be accepted as an incarnation, no one, pretty much. They could be in the world so-called incarnation, but it just cannot be accepted. That is not the authorized process of sadhu, shastra, and guru. So that's why here Srila Prabhupada is clearly making that statement so that we accept what is bona fide. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. Karya karyam vyavastita. So we should know what to do and what not to do, and we should know clearly so what is discriminate, what is good, what is not good, what is as per Shastra, what is not as per Shastra. So Bhagavad Gita gives that clear distinction. The followers of a pseudo incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form. But that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form, what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. So, clear statement. Very nice verse. Next verse, and then we'll try to understand. 49, the last verse. This is the last verse or the next one. Sanjay is speaking. I think the next one also, I think, till 50. 51 to 55. Then Arjuna speaks. That is the ending. माते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपम् घोरम् ईदृण्ममेदम् व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वम् तदेव मे रूपम् इदम् प्रपश्य माते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपम् घोरमिदृन्ममेदम् व्यपेतभिप्रीतमनैः पुनस्त्वम् तदेव मे रूपम् इदम् प्रपश्य. Lord is telling, you have been bewildered and afraid. Now I'm going to remove that and show you the peaceful form. So the 400 form, then 200 form, as you requested. Mate vyata macha vimodabhavo दृष्ट्वा रूपम् घोरमिदृन्ममेदम् व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वम् तदेव मे रूपम् idam prapasya. Ma, let it not be, say unto you, yata, trouble. Ma, let it not be, cha, also, vimudabhava, bewilderment, drustva, by seeing, rupam, form, goram, horrible, idrak, as it is, mama, my, idam, this, vipetabi, free from all fear, pritamana, pleased in mind, puna, again, from you, tat, that, eva, thus, me, my, rupam, form, idam, this, tapasya, just see, translation by Prabhupada. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Repeat. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Because he's seeing all the heads are getting chopped in the mouth, under the teeth is getting stuck. So all the heads. So then he is completely became. It is too horrible picture for he couldn't accept. It was bewildering. It was fearful. Then that's why Lord is saying he desired to see the natural form, 400 form, and then desired to see the 200 form. So that's what Krishna is repeating, saying here. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. He gives that argument in the second chapter that Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan Bhuktam Bhaiksham Api Haloke Atvartha Kamam Gurun Rudira Pradigdan. So how can I kill? Have you killed Sandipani Muni? Then why are you asking me to kill my gurus, Bhishma and Drona? So I'll be tainted with blood, this, that, so many things. So that's why he showed that you don't worry. He explains, of course, they are becoming old. Anyway, they are going to change the body. We cannot stop them. So I am asking you to kill. You have to do your duty. If you don't do your duty, you will be incurring sin for so many ways, Krishna explained. And then now he is telling, he is showing that Bhishma and Drona, all of them, I killed already. You just need to take credit. You just need to become instrument. Time I am. I'm the instrument. Become my instrument. Time I am. In the previous section, to this before Arjuna's prayer. Third section is title is Time I Am. There Krishna is telling that so you just take the credit. I have already done it, the work. So, but Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent. And for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people are already killed for their universal unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now, Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Because how can you reciprocate with the universal form? You just cannot. It just cannot be done. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed form, two-handed Krishna form, so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's no devotee wants any of those forms. He wants only Krishna's form. This is the last verse. Sanjay Vacha iti Arjunam Vasudevastatoktva Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuya आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनम् भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा become peaceful again. Sanjay Vacha iti Arjunam Vasudevastatoktva Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuya Asvasayamasa च भीतमेनम् भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपो महात्मा संजय उवाच इति अर्जुनम् वासुदेवस्ततोक्त्वा स्वकम् रूपम् दर्शयामास भूया आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनम् भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपो महात्मा. Sanjay said, iti thus, Arjunam unto Arjuna, Vasudeva, Krishna, Tata, in that way, Uktva speaking, Swakam, his own, Rupam, form, Darshayamasa, showed, Bhuya, again, Asvasayamasa, encouraged, Cha, also, Vitam, fearful, Enam, him, Bhutva, becoming, Puna, again, Somyavapu, the beautiful form, Maha Atma, the great one. Translation by Prabhupada. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Because the two-handed form is been, that is the original form, that's the form Arjuna is reciprocating with all along. So now is being encouraged to continue his loving exchanges. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport by Prabhupada. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana, but when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing the four-handed form, but since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Somya Vapu is very significant. Somya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjana Turita Bhakti Vilochanena Yam Chava Sundaram Achincha Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Only by Premanjana Turita, by eyes anointing with love of God. Bhakti, Achincha Gunaswarup, inconceivable form of the Supreme Lord, Shama, Soumya, Shama, most beautiful, effulgent, transcendental form of the Lord. So we'll try to understand these four verses. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तों की जय। Okay, so here in this section, this is titled Only Pure Devotees See Krishna's Two-Armed Form. We are in the last section of this chapter, 47 to 55 of this 11th chapter. Last verse of this chapter is also very important, which is also a purpose or essence of Bhagavad Gita. First 1 to 8 was Arjuna is requesting vision of the universal form after hearing the opulence of the Absolute in the 10th chapter. And then Lord Krishna briefly describes what is going to show. And then the next section was 9 to 32. Sanjay describing, so 2 times it gets repeated. Sanjay is describing the universal form, and Arjuna, what Arjuna is seeing, Arjuna's vision. And then the third is 32 34 is time I am, become my instrument. And then 35 to 46, which is Arjuna's prayers. Last time we covered that. Now today's section begin 47 to 55. Only pure devotees see Krishna's two-armed form. So first verse is explaining 47 verse. Maya prasannena tavarjunetam. So how can you please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna? Has to be understood. And the next verse, Krishna is giving the indication. Only way one can please the God, even if one wants to see God, Prabhupada explains, quoting the Bhagavad Gita 9.4. मया तदम इदम सर्वम जगद अव्यक्त मूर्ति नमस्तानि भूतानि न चाहम तेषु अवस्थितः. मया तदम idam sarvam jagat avyaktam. So Lord is pervaded everywhere. As a universal form is pervaded all over the Brahmanda. So as in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma himself is explaining. Ekopi aso rasayitam jagadanda kotim अंदांतरस्तु परमाणु जयांतरस्तम गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. Ekopi aso rasayitam jagadanta kotim. So andantara, every atom, everywhere is pervaded. Without him, it is like Prabhupada explains, like boy or a child or someone is holding the sand in the hand. As soon as the hand is taken, sand falls off. So like that, Lord is holding pretty much the whole universe, everything by His energy, pervading. His energy is distributed everywhere. So Parasya Shakti Vivideva Samhita, or Vishnu Shakti, what is it? Paraprokta. I forget the second line. So where just like the sun rays, sun's effulgence is pervaded everywhere as sun rays. Like that, Lord's energy is distributed everywhere. Maya tadam idam sarvam. So the Lord's devotees can see this form of the Lord. Only they are devotees, they can realize, they can be revealed. Otherwise, they cannot understand this transcendental form of the Lord. So that is the first, each and every atom as a universal form is there. And then Lord Krishna is explaining that how one can receive the mercy. He cannot receive the mercy as in Canto 5, chapter 12, verse number 8. Rahu Gana, Bharat Maharaj fell down from his position of from ecstatic devotion service because he was attached to the deer. He became deer, and then from after the giving up the deer life, he became a Jada Bharata. He was able to remember because he didn't fall down um, like ordinary devotee. He was an ecstatic stage of devotion service. Lord wants to bring him quicker back home, back to Godhead. So that he is able to remember still as a deer also he could remember his past life, what he has done, devotion service. He was still able to remember the Lord and his devotion service. And in the next life he became a Jadabharata. As a Brahmana, acted like a blind, acted like a deaf. So he didn't speak anything, he didn't do anything. So his brothers, his family members, his father, everybody left. So walking. So then they have somehow or other they have thrown him in the field as effigy. They put him. Then the dacoits tried to take him and offer to Kali. Then Kali himself appeared because Bharat Maharaj prayed to them. Then Kali appeared and killed because otherwise they were ready to kill the devotee, and Kali had to appear and show his darshan. So by that way, the demoniac propensity was purified by darshan. Then Bharat Maharaj, then this King Rahu Gana was going in that way. Fortunately, there this verse is there. Verse number 5, 12, 18. Good, very important verse. They are clearly describing this. Rahu Gana etat na tapasena na ijya na nirvapana. Very beautiful verse, very famous verse. Rahu Gana tapasa nayati. न च ईज्जया निर्वपणात् गृहाद्वा न छन्दसा नैव जलाग्निसूर्यैर्विना महत्पादरजोऽभिषेकम्. My dear King Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of the great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. And he gives the same examples as in the verse Lord Krishna is telling. Rahugana, etat tapasa na yati, not by austerities, na cha ijaya, not by worshipping the deity, na nirvapanat grihadava, not by becoming sannyasi, giving up the grihastha life, na chandasa, not by reading the shastra or the various, what do you call, Naiva Jalagni Surya, or he may be standing in the cold water, or Agnistoma sacrifices, or so those kind of things. But it is not possible to attain Lord Krishna's mercy, Lord Vishnu's mercy. It is not possible by any of these methods. Only way can be attained is Vina Mahat Pada Rajo Abhishekam. So that is very clearly explained and purport also important purport. My dear King Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize absolute truth. One cannot realize absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, strictly following the rules and household life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water or surrounding oneself in the summer by fire or scorching heat of the sun. There are many other paths to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of the great devotee. Mm. So that is repeatedly called out. As Prahlad Maharaj also in the Mayatadam Midam Sarvam verse also, Prabhupada explains. Later on verses also, Krishna himself is explaining that that is 9.45. Krishna is explaining. Later on in 9.13, Krishna is explaining that Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakrita. You must take shelter of the internal energy of the Lord, Srimati Radharani, and her expansions and her energies and expansions. All these acharyas, Acharya Rupa Goswami, Dance Thakur Goswami Prabhupada, all of them are Manjaris. So the Srimati Radharani, associates of Srimati Radharani. So by her mercy, by this great devotee's mercy only. So Matirna Krishna Bharata Swato Avidyo Abhipadyet Graha Pratana Madanta Govi Panaschavita Charmana. We can't become Krishna conscious, we can't receive the mercy of the Lord by our own endeavor, by somebody else, by studying, by austerity, by charity, by sacrifices, By any of these methods, it is not possible. Only way it can. Nisham Matistavadurukramantim Apagamo Arda Edarda Mahiyasam Padarajobhishekam. Same thing is mentioned here. Mahiyaso Padarajam Nishkinchananam Avrinitya. Mahiyasam Padarajobhishekam. Same thing here. Padarajobhishekam. Viramahat Padarajobhishekam. The same verses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also quotes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Also see the same thing. Let's look at the purport. Actual knowledge of the transcendental bliss can be bestowed upon anyone by a pure devotee. So in the Mayatadam also, Prabhupada explained that this devotee is asked, how can you see God? How can you receive the mercy of the Lord? Yes, by simply following the nine practice of devotion service, especially the chanting, even if not nine, at least minimum one, Sravanam and Kirtanam. So then they asked about, that is a famous verse of Prahlad Maharaj, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, not anybody else. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atman. Idi Pamsarpita Vishnu Bhaktis Chet Navalakshana. Create a Bhagavati Yadda Tanmanni Adidam Uttamam. That is the topmost. And it must be done directly. That means first you have to submit. So that's why we don't just simply pick up the beads and chant. First we submit, we pray that, please, oh my Lord, oh my spiritual master, Acharyas, Tulsi Maharani, please allow me to chant, allow me to take shelter of the Nama Prabhu, holy name, and give pleasure to the Lord. So we submit. That is what Bhagavati Adda directly means. You first submit, you pray for the strength and qualification and mercy, causeless mercy. Then we engage in that particular anga of the bhakti. That is direct. One who does it first, thinking that I have the qualification, I can pick up the weeds and chant, that is indirect. And then after that, then at the end, he may submit. If it is good, then he may think, he may offer results, or he may offer prayers to the Lord. That is indirect. Afterwards. But the devotees first submit first only, before. That is what direct means. Indirect means it is afterwards. If he feels good, then he will do it. So that is clear statement by Prahlad Maharaj. There the devotees are asking, Sravanam Kirtanam. So you can simply chant like Parikshit Maharaj. He just heard. So then Prabhupada said, oh, simply hearing, then you are like a stone. So after hearing, you have to do some practical application. You are supposed to do some practical things. And then otherwise, how will you realize? You are not Parikshit Maharaj. Within spontaneous, whole life he practiced. By simply last 7 days hearing, the attend final exam he could pass. But we haven't practiced. We are not in spontaneous devotion. So we are looking where is breakfast, where is lunch, where is dinner. But he was not. He didn't even want to go for breakfast. He was so much attached to the Lord. The same thing with Uddhava. So that was their attachment. We cannot compare them and saying that I can just simply hear and not do any service. And just we will be able to purify ourselves. No, after hearing means we have to do something. What we are hearing means we have to put in practice. So pratyaksha avagam davyam. It must be put in practice, then only realization, revelation will come, because the senses has to be purified. Atha Sri Krishna Namad Na Bhaved Graham Indre. That's why the prasadam is also required, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying. Sharira avidyajal. This body is meant to be giving ignorance, filled with ignorance, every anga, every senses. Sharira avidyajal. It is network of illusion and ignorance. Jadendriya Tahe Kal. So it's a very like a venomous serpent, fangs. It is like that. It's so dangerous. They always turn us into materialists, time and again, every day. Jadendriya Tayakal, Jive Fale Vishay Sagare, and then we are being thrown after being illusioned and haunted by these venomous fangs of the senses. We are thrown into the ocean. When one is thrown into the ocean, can you get up ourselves? Can we save ourselves? No, there is no possibility to save ourselves. So somebody has to rescue us. So that is our position. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given this verse before taking prasadam. One must chant this verse, realizing, remembering as Krishna's mercy. That's how Prabhupada used to take. He was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, thinking as the mercy of the Lord. That's why he used to take alone. He was reminiscing, he was chanting. He was always remembering Lord Krishna's. That's how we are supposed to take Krishna Prasad. Otherwise, as we taste, then we forget everything. No chanting, nothing. We'll be enjoying. We'll be watching TV or we'll be watching something else, not related to Krishna consciousness also many times. That will be our position. But that is not how it is done by our acharyas. As in this way, by taking, even if it is done, still it is Krishna Prasad, it will purify. But that also can be gradually changed and transformed. Each and every activity, there is a scope for improvement. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given the song so that we understand what is Mahaprasad means. It's a great mercy of the Lord to transform. By simply prasadam also it can be, we can be transformed. But provided we have that great transcendental faith on Mahaprasad, each and every gain, how we take it, with what consciousness we take it, so everything. So it depends on the consciousness only. So then only, actually, then transformation is accordingly proportionate. According to that proportion, transformation also will happen. What consciousness we have, how much transcendental faith we have. So one cannot attain the perfection of spiritual life simply by following the directions of Vedas. One has to approach a pure devotee. Anya vilasita sunyam gnana. By the grace of such devotee, one can understand the absolute truth, Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that even Lord Brahma cannot understand unless so Krishna Kripa, without the mercy of Lord Krishna, even Lord Brahma could, obviously, when he was born, he was searching himself. He couldn't do anything. Then Lord Krishna himself has to utter the words tapa. He heard in the voice from sky. Then he started performing austerity. Then he heard, so after some time, then Lord Krishna gave the Gayatri mantra. Then he initiated him. Then he started knowing. He started being revealed who he is, what is the relationship with the Supreme Lord, and what he has to do, and how he can create. So everything was revealed at that point of time, but not until that point of time where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was revealing that, explaining in this verse. Otherwise, we have so many desires. देह आरामी सर्व काम सव आत्मा राम कृष्ण कृपाय कृष्ण भजे चाड़ी सब काम. As long as one labors under the bodily conceptions, he must fulfill the volumes and volumes of material desires. Thus, a person is called Atmaram. When such Atmaram is favored by the mercy of Krishna, he gives up his so-called self-satisfaction and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So that mercy will be given by the his devotee. Otherwise, it's just not possible. And that is explaining here also. यारे तांड्रा कृपा से जनी बारे पारे कृपा विना Brahma Adi ka jani bare nare. Only a person who has received the mercy of the Lord can understand. Without the Lord's mercy, even the demigods headed by Lord Brahma cannot understand. Then how? Here, the example is King Prataprudra. How did he receive? By engaging in service, menial service, not ordinary service. So, that is one way to receive the mercy. राजा तुच्छ सेवा देखी प्रभुरा तुष्ट मना सही तो प्रसाद पाइला रहस्य दर्शन. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been very satisfied to see the king accept the menial task of sweeping the street. So, even though such exalted position, he was a great king, but he has given up. He was ready to do menial tasks, but with a proper consciousness. Sometimes leaders may do for the show. No, but Lord is not interested to see the show. He is interested really what is there in the heart, with what consciousness someone is doing. Then, actually, Lord will show the mercy. And for this humility, that's why humility is mentioned. If it is show, you wouldn't have given the mercy. The king received the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He could therefore observe the mystery of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activity. What was the mystery? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just like Lord Krishna and Ras Leela, just like Lord Krishna and Dwaraka Leela, everywhere he expanded. All the palaces, everywhere Lord Krishna personally was there, himself expanded. Each and every palace, 16,108, 16,108 Krishnas was there. Narada Muni was going each and every palace, he's seeing everywhere different Krishna performing different activities personally. So, same way Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was 7 dance parties, 4 in the front, 1 in the left, 1 in the right, 1 in the back. As Lord Jagannath Radhayatra was going on, Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannath is watching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing. ecstatically, and then every devotee is thinking the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there with us only. He was ecstatically dancing so much so that everybody is feeling only Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there with them, with their group. But he was there simultaneously in all the 7 places, in all the 7 groups. Mm. And so that was the similar to Lord Krishna's expanding himself as in Dwarka Lila, expanding himself in Ras Lila, billions of gopis and billions of Krishnas dancing similarly. So that in that way, so Chaitanya, King Prataprutra could understand that mystery. He didn't. He was not revealed. He was being revealed. How that means I can understand what kind of mercy I received. So it is not possible to otherwise receive that kind of get revelations about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to dance in all these places. He is Krishna himself, and Lord Jagannath is seeing, is getting stunned, seeing the dancing and so intense separation from Lord Krishna and Lord Jagannath in the mood of intense separation. Srimati Radharani is explained here. The mystery of the Lord's activities is described as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Rupa. Lord Jagannath was astonished to see the transcendental dancing and chanting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he stopped his car just to see the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then danced in such a mystical way that he pleased Lord Jagannath. The seer and the dancer were one and the same Supreme Person, but the Lord being one and many at the same time was because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of devotee appeared, Lord Jagannath is in the mood of acting as master. So the two different modes, same Lord, but is taking two different positions. So Krishna Viraha Vidura and Radha Viraha Vidura, two different positions is taken. Was exhibiting the variegatedness of his pastime. This is the meaning behind his mysterious exhibition. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the king could understand how the two of them were enjoying each other's activity. Another mysterious exhibition was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's simultaneous presence in 7 groups. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the king could understand that also. He can understand in this way. So how one can and then here further Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is further explaining that how to receive the mercy by the pure devotee. Again, devotee only can receive, show the mercy. Even the however lowest child, woman, everybody can receive the mercy. Krishna Krupadi Etu Haite Savar Uday Krishna Guna Krishna Hana Tanahare Bajai. Everyone is eligible to receive Krishna's mercy, including Vyasdev, four Kumaras, Sukadev Goswami, low-born creatures, trees, plants, because Sanatana Goswami is asking how the trees will be delivered, how the lower living entities will be delivered. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that everyone is, including however great they may be, Vyasdev, four Kumaras, Sukadev Goswami, low-born creatures, trees, plants, beasts, by Krishna's mercy, they are elevated and engaged in his service. So that's why we engage. We engage the plants, we engage the different twigs of the trees in the Lord's service. As soon as they are engaged, they get the universe and then they are ready to progress in devotion service. They have attained the Sukruti by being engaged unknowingly by another devotee. So that is, they are getting the great credit. And Prabhupada quotes Lord Krishna's famous verse, Mami Partha Vipasritya. That means taking shelter of again, devotee. Yes, you Papa Yona, Striyo Vaisya Tada Sudha Tepi Anti Parangadim. It could be women or Vaisyas, Sudras, anybody, any background, everyone. So Prabhupada quotes also many places. Kirat Hunanda Pulinda Pukkasa Veera Sampaya Yavana Kasada Nech Papa Dupashraya Suddhanti Prabhu Vishnave Namaha. So by simply taking the shelter of that's what in this verse the main concept is surrendering or taking shelter of the Supreme Lord and his representative and doing some service. That is the way one can receive the mercy of the Lord by obviously following the practice of what Acharya is giving, what Lord Krishna is telling. By following, just like Krishna is telling that I have already done it. You just need to become instrument. That means you'll do it. I am telling you to do, then you do it. Krishna is telling, Satadam Kirtayanto Mam. You do it, then you get the mercy. So he's telling, ignore the karma, igna sistas, santo. Only take Krishna Prasad. If you do it, you get the mercy. So throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, don't be attached to results. Krishna is telling in the second chapter all the way till fifth chapter. Don't be attached to results. And he's telling in the fourth chapter, you need to surrender to bona fide spiritual masters. So this is all Lord Krishna's instruction. As Arjuna did it, we just need to follow like Arjuna did. He was a Grihastha. He didn't. Did they leave their wife? Did they leave home and went somewhere? That was Arjuna's idea. You want to go to forest? No, all the Pandavas had more than one wife. They also had children. They didn't leave. They also had to go through difficulty. Did they leave? No. They didn't leave. They didn't run away from the problem. They just carried on. They just depended on the Lord. They just executed their duties. When the problem was there, then they consulted with the experts, the devotees of the Lord. Vyasadeva was there, Narada Muni is there, different devotees, Dhaumya was there. Sometimes Lord himself was there. So in this way, as long as we are under the guidance, then by their mercy, Lord is very pleased. See, Acharya gets pleased because as long as we are following under the guidance, then automatically Guru will know what's happening, how much we are submissive, how much we are surrendered. Then mercy is received. That is what Vipasritya means, taking shelter. Mam hi partha Vipasritya. As soon as one takes shelter, O Sanaprada, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, Sudras, can attain the supreme destination. Otherwise, it's not possible. Everyone is eligible to become Krishna's devotee. One simply has to be trained according to the approved process. There's not any process we come up with, it's going to be okay. No, it cannot be okay. It won't work. It is the work of Krishna's confidential devotees to turn everyone into Krishna Bhakta. If the confidential devotees do not take up the task of elevating everyone to Krishna consciousness, then who will do it? Those who claim to be devotees but do not engage in Krishna's service to elevate all living creatures to Krishna are to be considered Kanishtha. As the neophyte beginning. People in the lower stage of devotion. Then when one rises to the second platform to devote Madhyamadikari, his business is to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Those who are active in Krishna consciousness movement should not remain in the neophyte stage, but should rise to the platform of preachers. The second platform of devotional service. The devotional service is so enchanting that even the first class devotee Uttamadikara also come down to the second platform to preach, to render service to the Lord for the benefit of the whole world. So because the Uttamadikari means he sees himself as low, he sees the whole world, everybody else is higher than him. He is not a devotee, but everybody is a great devotee. That is the vision. Stavara Jangama Deke Na Deke Sarvatra Ho Ishtadevata Spur. That's what he sees, even on the tree, everywhere he sees like that. So obviously he cannot preach because he has to discriminate. He has to see how he can engage. So that's it. He has to come to Madhyamadikari to preach. All these great acharyas come to take the position of Madhyamadikari and then they can preach. So they have to discriminate depending on which ashrama is in, what position he is in, so what qualification he has, so on accordingly. But if he sees that he is already great, I am low, then how is he going to preach? Because if he is already great, then what is he going to preach? So if he is Madhyamadikari, then he knows, okay, what is his deficiency, how he can be transformed. So that's a Madhyamadikari. It doesn't need that we need to become a scholars, to become a second class devotee. We just need to know whatever we know. We give the books, we give the prasadam, we invite, we tell them to wake up and chant. We give them the tulsi beads. We tell them to worship Tulsi Marani. We tell them to take Krishna prasadam. So that's it. These are simple, even ordinary, even simple process. Even child can do it. Prabhupada is there. Even the children are distributing this Krishna consciousness. Children used to go with mothers or fathers to distribute books, distribute prasadam, be in kirtan. Kirtan used to be very much was a very important process those days. Now it means so much show is there, but not actual. It's not so much deep consciousness is consciousness is not there. That is the problem. It was not like that. When Prabhupada was there, Prabhupada was very serious. Even when he was in the last days, also when he was sick, also when he was sleeping, he used to hear in the temple room. He used to hear sometimes. He used to tell them to reduce their volume of the mridanga. The kirtan has to be heard. Mridanga cannot go its above its sound. Then there is no point of mridanga. So everybody has to hear the kirtan. Mantra has to be heard. That means Mridanga and the other sound has to support that. It cannot overpower. Then automatically your ears will take to that music. Then actually mantra concentration won't be there. So Prabhupada is very particular on in all those things. A few times it was transformational, amazing journeys when Prabhupada did the Prabhupada and other devotees in New Vrindavan, in Mayapur, and in few places. The Sankirtan happened. That in New Vrindavan, I think Bhargav Prabhu started the Kirtan, then Vishnu Janaswami Maharaj Kirtan, hours and hours. They're dancing, jumping up and down like anything, and they're so much in great ecstasy. Devotees were crying, uh, so much completely in transcendental world. And then Prabhupada also playing Kartal like non-stop. He closed his eyes, so much. Kartal playing also, increasing the rhythm, and suddenly Prabhupada picked up the kirtan. He stopped Vishnujan Maharaj and Prabhupada picked up the kirtan. It went even more uproaring. It went for quite long time. So those are the Sankirtan it used to be done. As well, Vishnujan Maharaj was famous kirtan. Non-stop he used to play mridanga, non-stop he used to perform kirtan. So much internally conscious. So kirtan can only happen somebody who is actually internally conscious. So then only he himself is feeling ecstasy. It's not that 100 people are there, I'm going to chant now. I'm going to show up, I'm going to nicely dress and show up. No, that is not kirtan. Kirtan means when one person is there, 100 people are there. You naturally, you come for the kirtan. You are there for kirtan means you are already there. That's what kirtan means. It's not so. Sometimes when the some devotees complain, some Maharaj told, okay, you are so much adamant about they are not giving the opportunity for you to sing. Then why don't you close your doors at home and sing? So yeah, you have the opportunity. You can sing, dance. You can do at your home alone. You can do it. So because Prabhupada used to do that alone. So many bhajans. Prabhupada was alone. Even sometimes in the temple room itself, Prabhupada was singing because it is between us and Krishna. So and the spiritual master. So it is our own loving feelings and exchanges. That is what Kirtan means. Of course, the fire of Krishna consciousness is the devotees of those who have fire, then of course that will help, that will increase our ecstasy in Sankirtan for sure. But it's not by some so called show or some other without proper conscious, without understanding the Prabhupada's process of what is Kirtan means. So, Kirtan means first they must be properly chanting their rounds. Then actually they can do Kirtan. If they are not doing proper chanting, they cannot do Kirtan. They may sing seemingly beautiful tune, beautiful Kirtan, beautiful harmony, mridanga, but actually it is not transformed. It is a Kali Kirtan. It is a money. So Prabhupada used to stop sometimes when these kind of Kirtans are going on. Everybody used to think the great Kirtan. Prabhupada used to stop. So that's why the process has a transformative effect. But if they are consciously doing it, if they are not consciously doing it, takes quite some time. It cannot be a show. So that is the clear here. Otherwise, this austerity, if they are doing the tapa austerity for waking up in the morning and chanting for the pleasure of the Lord, then for sure austerity will work. But the problem is these austerities are done by Hiranyakasipu, the austerities are done by so-called people, not for pleasing Krishna. People do Nitya Ekadasi not for pleasing Krishna, for some other benefit. Then it has not much value. You get pious credit, but it has not much value. If it is only meant for pleasing Krishna and Guru, then only it has value. Anything, whatever service, whatever we do, everything has to be meant only for Guru and Krishna's pleasure. Then only we should do, not for some other purpose. Yes, for some material purpose you may want to do, that's fine in the beginning, but that's not the ideal practice of pure devotional service. Means you do everything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna only. So that's what is being taught in this particular four verses. Lord Krishna is teaching us that not by not by austerity, not by charity, not by sacrifices, not by any other methods. One can understand only by pure devotion service. That also by the pure devotee has to give and has to be under the guidance. So then only one can understand this. This especially the 48 verse. So Lord Krishna is giving each and every aspect very clearly. This is the same aspect you see in Kunti Maharani's prayer. Janmaiswarya Sruta Srivir Yeda Mana Mada Naivar Avidatum Vai Kim Akinchan Gojra. One cannot become Akinchan, one cannot become servant of the Lord or the pure devotee if he is intoxicated by the Janma Aishwarya Sruta Srivir opulence is caught up with this austerity, charity, all these things. He may have all these things, but he is thinking that I am doing great by all these things. He is doing it for some other purpose, not for the Lord's pleasure. Then it is not going to actually, he cannot become a servant of the Lord. He cannot receive the mercy of the Lord. It is not possible. So, same thing, Prahlad Maharaj is also giving the verse we quoted many times. Manye Dhanavijana Rupa Tapasruta तेज प्रभाव बल बुद्धि पौरुष योगना आराधनाय परस्य पुंसो भक्त्यात दोष भगवान गजयूत पाय. So not by beauty, not by austerity, not by charity, not by any of these methods one can please. Even if he is a Brahmana also, as soon as he is not actually essence is not worshipping Krishna, the Sat Guna Aravinda Nava Pada Aravinda Vimukad. As soon as he is against worshipping Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, is doing the taking the Shaligram Shila and then breaking the peanuts, sitting inside the deity room. What I do? That's it. And otherwise, why do we think that the temples are not running? So many old temples, nobody is there, hardly no worship was going on properly. Why? Because those who are being given the authority do, if they are not doing proper worship, then that's what will happen. The brahmanas are those who are being engaged in the service. There, because when the deities are engaged, beautified, properly worshipped for their pleasure, then naturally they themselves will be maintained by the Lord, and Lord will be also be happy. Then only it can go anywhere. That's what we have to see. Then only it can go on. Otherwise, it cannot go longer run. That's why when Madhavendra Puree installed the deities, he had to make sure that he trained all of them for almost few months. Every process, everything, he trained them. He initiated them. He trained them each and every step how to do it. So very nicely, systematically. Then he appointed them, and then he moved on. But that is the process. We have to be trained, we have to be guided. So then every day consistently it will go on. Always somebody, but still somebody has to be authority and guidance has to be there regularly. Otherwise, there is in the meantime someone or the other will come up and no, we can do this. They will come up with their own ideas and thoughts and will change different things. So we have to take guidance. One time at Mangalananda Prabhu, so they have thought, but at least they've taken Prabhupada's guidance, and Prabhupada approved it after hearing. So they created with the what is that? Um, Not guitar, with guitar, and then they did some songs on the Bhagavad Gita and then various subjects. Mm, Nice tunes on about Sanatana Dharma, about the Bhakti Yoga. So some songs and some explanations like that. They have done 2, 3 CDs like that. They recorded it and they tried it. It worked. They did road shows at the time. It worked. Then they created CDs and they wanted to go and perform, distribute it in some of the areas. Then they showed Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada stopped when he was going out. Then he stopped and he listened. Then he said he approved it. Okay, go ahead and do it. So it's nice, and that's our proposal. So somebody authority has to approve it. So that then it can have a transformation effect. If somebody is coming up with their own ideas but without a proper authority, without proper checks and balances, then it is not going to work. We can't receive the mercy of the Lord. When somebody is independently acting, it is not bhakti anymore. It is something else. You get some pious credits, but that is not bhakti. So mercy of the Lord can be received only if you are sincerely engaged under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. So that's what we're learning here in today's 3 or 4 verses. Lord Krishna is teaching us that only way Arjuna is able to see the form of the Lord. Arjuna is able to see the universal form, four-handed form, two-handed form by only the mercy of the Lord, because he has acted in such a way that followed, always served, the Pandavas served the previous Acharya, always they were under the guidance, they never became independent. Their whole life they never became independent. Neither Kunti Maharani allowed it. So they're always under the guidance. So by following the Pandavas example, if we do it, also always under the guidance, then we can also receive the mercy. Because that will please the devotees authority, then naturally the spiritual master, then naturally Lord will be pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. So that's what we are learning here. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Bhagavatam ki jai.